Welcome to EPG Pathshala. This module is on the chemistry of stratospheric ozone depletion. Ozone depletion is a very well-known phenomenon and even a common man is aware of this. Ozone is present in the stratosphere, that is at a height of around 18 kilometers to 50 kilometers, and its presence is very necessary. That is why the general public and governments are concerned. Ozone absorbs UVB radiation that come from the sun and does not allow them come to the earth. It filters them. If those radiations are allowed to come to the earth, they will lead to melanoma or skin cancer, a deadly disease. That is why ozone depletion must be controlled, and that is why the public and people, governments are concerned about ozone depletion. The ozone layer or ozonosphere exists between a height of 10 to 40 kilometers from the Earth's surface, and the air pressure is between 100 to 0.1 millibar. Ozone distribution in stratosphere is strongly depend upon on these parameters: stratospheric circulation patterns, seasons, short-term meteorological changes, photochemical process of formation and destruction. The ozone chemistry and rather physics is being studied since long time, and since in 1956 the British government was assigned the task of continuously measuring stratospheric ozone at two islands, Halley Bay and Argentine Islands in Antarctica. At that, in 1984, the team leader was John Furman, a scientist of British Antarctic Survey. He has been measuring for quite long time, for many years, ozone, and he found that there was a dramatic decrease in the total ozone for about 6 weeks in September and October during this period, the 5 years, 1980 to 84. Now, this was a serious thing. And the rest of the year, there was not much change. But during this time, the ozone was almost gone, and then the press, to catch the public eye, coined the term ozone hole, and they cried that ozone hole has been created in stratosphere. That's why the public and governments, they came to know about it, and their interest arose in this phenomenon. Why ozone is necessary? Why we are so much worried about it? Ozone in stratosphere absorbs harmful V radiations. The wavelength 280 to 320 nanometer. Remember, these radiations are absorbed only by O3 and by no other gas in the atmosphere. So, if there is no ozone, these radiations will come to Earth and they have a harmful effect. Any loss or depletion of ozone in stratosphere would lead to greater amounts of UVB radiations reaching the Earth's surface. These radiations result in increase in melanoma or skin cancer in humans, as these damage surface cells of animals and plants. So that's why ozone must filter out these UVB radiations. That is the major concern for the public and the governments. The UV radiations may interrupt lower levels of food chain also. That is another side effect of this. How ozone is formed in the stratosphere? The chemistry is very interesting. In a stratosphere, the oxygen is present there, and this radiation, they are high energy radiation, less than 242 nanometer. If radiations of more than 242 nanometer are there, then O2 will not dissociate with oxygen, because it is a double bond. It needs high energy, and this energy is provided by the radiation of this wavelength or lower. Remember, these radiations are not available in troposphere. So no reaction of this kind will take place here. So oxygen atoms are formed. The oxygen atom reacts with O2 in presence of a third body to form O3. What is the necessary of M? What is M? M is a third body that any other thing, for example H2O, for example CO2, for example any other gas, which does not react with either of these two or this. So basically it is inert material with respect to all these three, but what it does, when O and O2 combine to form O3, energy released. If this energy is released, if M is not there, this energy will reside on O3, this will be an excited state, and then revert back to O and O2. So that's why the nature is provided that M must be there, and the M's are present in huge amount. Now, once the ozone has been formed, it undergoes dissociation also. Once this photochemical dissociation, O3 by the radiation of wavelength less than this gives O and O2. Remember, O3, one OO bond is weak. It requires less energy. So, it dissociates to give oxygen atom, and O2, and O reacts with O3 to form 2O2. So, what happened? Ozone was formed O2, and these reactions led to the reformation of O2 and decrease in O3 concentration. These reactions are known as Chapman mechanism. It was given in 1943. He was a physicist as early as 1930 for the creation and destruction of ozone. Reaction 2 and 3 are much faster than 1 and 4 and rapidly interconvert O and O3. There is one word which is frequently used in stratospheric chemistry is odd oxygen. O and O3 together, they are referred to as odd oxygen. If I say odd oxygen, it means O and O3 combined. What is the relation between the concentrations of ozone and oxygen? This mechanism, this can be used for this, the rate of formation of O atoms, dO upon dt. Let us see O. This is formed in this step. So, dO upon dt equal to this positive, dO2 upon dt. Ozone is used here, destroyed here. So, it is minus dO upon dt equal to O into O2 into M into the rate constant. Likewise, here O is formed. So, dO upon dt equal to this plus sign, dO3 concentration into radiation intensity, and here the O is used. So, minus dO upon dt equal to O into O3 into rate constant. These are shown here, this equation. This is how the equation has been arrived at. The plus sign means O atom has been formed. Minus sign means O atom has been used up in a reaction, consumed in a reaction. These are the relative rate constant of the steps in which they are involved. This J and J3, they depend upon the solar intensity of the radiation. And likewise, we can also write dO3 upon rate of formation of O3. It is formed in one step and it is used up in two steps. So, these two steps are negative and this step is positive. If we add these two, we get dO upon dt equal to dO3 upon dt equal to, or we write O and O3 equal to dO plus O3 odd oxygen. You can add these, you can find K2, this will cancel out, JO3 will cancel out, and you will have this and this having same sign, this will add 2J1O2 minus 2K4O into O3. Understand, if we apply steady state, if this is a radical reaction and O and O3 have reached a state of equilibrium, they are in a steady state. Once anything is in a steady state, its concentration does not change with time. It means dO upon dt equal to 0, dO3 upon dt equal to 0. It does not mean their concentrations are 0, it only means their concentrations are not changing with time. So, dO plus O3 upon dt equal to 0. If we put it equal to 0, we get twice J1 O2 minus 2K4O into O3 equal to 0, or you get, or modification of the equation, rearrangement, you get 2J1 O2 equal to twice K4O into O3. At steady state, I told you dO3 upon dt is 0. So, from equation 7, from this equation, this is equal to 0. So, this minus this equal to 0. We have this equation. So, as reaction 4 is much slower than 2 and 3, we can ignore it. We ignore it, then we get K2O O2 M minus J3 to O3, or rearrangement gives you KTO O2 M equal to J3 O3. J3 is a complex function of the rate constant of the step 3, wavelength dependent solar light intensity and extinction coefficients. From equation 13, O upon O3. O upon O3 rearrangement, you get J3 K2 O2 over M, or O equal to O3 on this side. Substituting this value of O, this value in equation 10, previous one, this here. Substitute the value of O here, you get this equation. Finally, ozone concentration in stratosphere is equal to O2 concentration multiplied by this factor, and this factor has a power of half. What does it indicate? It indicates that ozone concentration is proportional to the oxygen concentration in the stratosphere, number one. Ozone concentration is proportional to the square root of the intensity of the light, because this is power is half. So this is important thing. 2 points are important, as we will explain later. Look here. Ozone distribution in stratosphere. This is the altitude. This is the ozone concentration. What happens with altitude? Ozone concentration, as the altitude goes up in the stratosphere, it first increases, reaches a maximum and then decreases. And this is the Chapman mechanism, as predicted by Chapman. This. And this is the real. This is the real value. This is the Chapman value. There is a difference. We will discuss it later on why there is a difference. Okay. Now, question is why there is a maximum here. Why ozone increases to a point and then it starts decreasing. The reason is, it is here. Look here. O3 is proportional to O2. As we go up with the altitude, what happens? The ozone oxygen concentration decreases. Naturally, there will be less ozone if oxygen is less. Number two, as we go up, the solar intensity starts increasing, because we are, if here is the sun, at this height RB, where will the sun radiation will reach first? Here. So as we go up, the solar radiation starts increasing. So there are two opposing effects. With increasing altitude, the oxygen concentration decreases, but solar radiation increases. However, there is a direct proportionality between O2 and O3, but this is with intensity, the half power intensity is proportional to O3. So they have such an effect that at this height, ozone will be maximum. If you go up, ozone will start decreasing. So this is the maximum. You can explain maximum like this. It can be shown by calculations, actual calculations. Now, look here. This is the Chapman mechanism. The Chapman mechanism shows, remember, the rate constant for all these steps are known now. Exact concentrations of O2, O3 are known now. O is known now. If we use them, the calculation shows that according to Chapman mechanism, this must be the graph with the variation of ozone concentration with altitude. But in reality, what happens? The ozone is less than the predicted. Ozone is less than the at this altitude. Ozone must be there according to theory. But practically, ozone is only this much. But nature of the curve is same. Both show the maximum here. How can this be done? How can this be explained? In Chapman mechanism, this step, destruction of ozone, by this accounts only for 20% ozone loss. But since the ozone is much less than the real value, it means there must be some other method, some other reaction steps which destroy ozone and decrease the ozone concentration, and the ozone concentration is less than the predicted or theoretical value. So it must be kinetic cycle. And the kinetic cycle type thing was proposed to be of this kind. There must be something X, which reacts with O3 to form XO plus O2. XO reacts with O2 form X plus O2. So remember, the important point is X is regenerated. This is X is regenerated. That is the key to the destruction, key to the whole mechanism of the reaction. That is, these two steps, the X must be such a species which will be regenerated, and one X will be able to carry out this reaction. This must be radical, carry out this reaction 1,000 times. X can be these: HOX, NOx or ClOx, chlorine or ClO, NO or NO2, HO or OH, HO2. These are the, remember, in atmospheric chemistry, this is the method writing away two compounds, NO and NO2, combine the NOx. Cl and ClO, they write ClOx. Trace O3 depleting species are these. OH, CH4, they are also decreased. How? Chlorine compounds are responsible for ozone depletion. John Furman said in 1984 that ozone has decreased. The ozone from the stratosphere over Antarctica, the ozone disappeared between September and November. How it disappeared? And this was predicted by Bolina and Rowland. They gave an explanation, and they gave the Nobel Prize along with Paul Crutzen. They suggested that chlorofluorocarbons, they are widely used in industries. including electronics, in sprays. They are inert compounds. They are otherwise harmful. They have a long life of 90 years. They were discarded. They were first invented or made in around 1930. So all of CFCs which have been produced at that till from that time to now, they are all still present in the atmosphere because of their long lifetime. These from stratosphere, they reach the stratosphere slowly. Although the movement from troposphere to stratosphere of the material of the gases is slow because of difference in temperature. But the slow movement is there, and slowly as CFCs had reached the stratosphere. Now what happened? This is high energy radiation, 242 or less. This radiation is sufficient to break the carbon-chlorine bond. Remember, carbon-fluorine bond is stronger than carbon-chlorine bond. Therefore, this bond is not broken. What is broken? Carbon-chlorine bond is broken and this radical is formed. Remember, once this radical is formed, this becomes reactive and can be removed. Remember, CFC is not a radical. This is inert. So this is not destroyed, but this will be removed easily since it's radical. The chlorine radical that has been formed, this reacts with O3 to form Cl, chlorine oxide. This is a radical, and this radical will react with oxygen to form O2 and Cl. Remember, the chlorine has been regenerated. So this cycle will continue. One chlorine atom can destroy thousands of O3 and O. Both are involved with the formation of ozone, known as odd oxygen. So that is the reason for destruction of ozone and fall in its concentration during September to November or September to October over Antarctica. There can be other methods also, other compounds also which can destroy ozone, for example CH4, NO2, OH, but by far this is the most important. There was some objections by those people working in chemical kinetics that the mechanism appears to be less feasible because ClO concentration is small. He made a change and he revised the mechanism. He found that Cl2O2 is formed, and CO2O2 is photolyzed to give you Cl, ClOO, and ClO reacts with Cl to form Cl. So this mechanism was revised. Now this is the accepted mechanism for the destruction of ozone by chlorine over Antarctic stratosphere. Bromine is also in place of chlorine. There can be bromine. There are halogens, bromine compounds. Role of NO2 and N2O. Paul Crutzen, he also got Nobel Prize with Paulina and Roland for this thing. He was the first to suggest that NO or NO2 or N2O, they can also destroy ozone like chlorine. Now how they are produced? N2O is very unreactive, lifetime around 150 years. This also leaks to the stratosphere. Here it is react with cigarette oxygen. It is present there, and this reaction forms NO. And N2O can also be photolyzed by this radiation to form NO. The kinetic cycle for ozone destruction is, instead of Cl, now you have this. NO is being regenerated. Earlier chlorine was regenerated, so they behave in a similar way. At this height, 25 to 45 kilometer height, this is important. In the mid region, chlorine is important. Hydrogen species, OH, this is how it destroys. O3 reacts with, OH reacts with O3 to form O2, HO2, HO2 reacts with O to form OH. OH has been regenerated. So this will destroy ozone and O as chlorine did or nitrogen oxides did. How this OH radical is produced? By photodissociation of H2O. This radiation, they are high energy radiation, UV radiation. They otherwise water is not, you cannot dissociate water easily in our atmosphere. Had this been so, there would have been no water here, only OH and H radicals. So this thing happens. Why there is a hole over Antarctic only? Ozone is destroyed between August to October or November, in winter, in Antarctica, at stratosphere only. What is the reason for it? Look here. This is Antarctic. Over Antarctica, there is a vortex, a cyclonic wind moving like this over the entire continent with a very high speed, this thing. Moving like this, for example, this room, and anything moves around this room continuously with a high speed, such a high speed that it will not allow anything to go in or anything to come out. So whatever chemical reactions will take place, the products or reactants will remain there and nothing from outside will go out. So this is most important. What happened? Here the temperature is very low. This is in winter. Now what is the chemistry of this? The Antarctica is southern hemisphere. In winter, the temperature is very low. There is a day for 6 months and night for 6 months. In winter, there is night for 6 months. No photochemical reaction. Okay? When there is no photochemical reaction, so notice this reaction is not possible. But around August, when the summer starts, the first rays of sun fall on Antarctica, this photochemical reaction starts. Cl2, this starts in August. And this destruction of ozone starts occurring at that time. And by October, the warming of atmosphere has so much taken place that the temperature has become quite high, such that this vortex has been broken now. This vortex is active or present only when the temperature is low. When the temperature is high, this vortex doesn't exist, and once it does not exist, then the ozone from tropics comes to this and make up for the loss of ozone. That's why after October, ozone hole disappears. Now, what is the proof that chlorine is involved in it? Why it is necessary? It is available in the e-text. The figure is available in the e-text. By monitoring simultaneously ClO and O during a flight through the hole in the month of, say, September and August, when there was a hole, during the aeroplane flights, there were equipment and they measured ClO and O3 simultaneously. And what was noted? When ClO was high, O3 was less. When O3 was high, ClO was less. So there is a reciprocal relationship, that is, one was responsible for the other. So ClO was responsible for destruction of ozone, that is shown here. Now what is the chemistry behind this? In stratosphere there is much less water, and whatever little water is present, it is in the form of thin clouds, and these are known as polar stratospheric clouds. They are solid form, frozen water at this altitude, and chlorine, that is the chlorine here, which is destroying. When winter comes, the photochemical reaction ceases and chlorine atoms combine to form Cl2, or chlorine reacts with another molecule to form a stable molecule, and chlorine is preserved there. Yes, this is chain termination. A radical reaction has 3 steps: initiation, propagation and termination. In winter, since there is the light has ceased to be there, no chlorine is being formed. Chlorine reacts with methane that is present there to form HCl, and ClO that is also present, this ClO. In the destruction mechanism of the ozone, this ClO reacts with NO to form chlorine nitrate, this compound, this solid compound. This solid compounds may fall down or remain there. These are called reservoir species. They are called reservoir species, that is, chlorine has been deposited in the where it is secured in a molecule. Reservoir species interact with the frozen water and Cl dissolves in water, and Cl2 remains on the gas phase. Remember, when this reaction takes place, the termination reaction, this is in the water. In polar stratospheric clouds, they are solid water in this, and ClO is in the gas phase. On this beautiful reaction, on the polar surface of polar stratospheric clouds, at very low temperature, these are clouds, the temperature may be around minus 93. At that temperature, these react to form chlorine gas, and this react HCl. Again, they are both reservoir species. When sun rises in August, then decomposition starts. Chlorine radical is formed and the mechanism of the destruction of ozone takes place. It is very interesting and involved chemistry, not easy chemistry. It is a lot of physics also, metallurgy also. Now, how the destruction of ozone can be controlled? Major cause is CFC. What we can do? We should phase out the use of CFCs. What is being done? Instead of CFCs, we are using HCFCs. There is one hydrogen is retained. When one hydrogen is retained, then in troposphere, OH hydroxyl radicals will react with this H. They will remove this H and form this. Montreal Protocol, International Treaty on Stratospheric Ozone Depleting Substances. Now it is decided. So it is designed to phase out the CFCs and to control the destruction of ozone. This module gave you an opportunity to learn about the ozone depletion. It also told you why ozone is necessary. It absorbs harmful UVB radiations. If these radiations come to Earth, then they will lead to the disease, melanoma or skin cancer. It also explained how ozone is formed in the stratosphere, where the highest concentration of ozone present and what is the reason for it. It tried to give you the mathematical description of the whole process, which is somehow complicated. It also explained how in Antarctica atmosphere and why the ozone depletion occurs. What are reservoir species? Thank you.